Seana is a 22-year-old lady who weighs over 600 pounds. Yes, you did not hear wrong. Everything scares her. From the moment she wakes up in the morning to the moment she goes to bed, she is in constant fear that her body is going to give up on her someday. Will she be able to achieve her weight loss goal?
Because I live with her, but she travels most of the year. So Derrikus is there to help me do a lot while she's gone. I don't want him to ever have to help me with this, or ask anyone to do that for me. But it's already almost too hard for me to do all the time. So sometimes I think about just not doing it. But then when you're big like me and have all these folds.
Well, here is how her journey begins. That is honestly just sad. Shauna hates everything about herself. She has so many sores on her body, and it's very difficult for her to scrub those places because of her size. Wow, how did she allow herself to get this big? That's crazy.
My legs and my feet disgust me the most about my body. They don't even seem human anymore. None of me does. So I don't even want to look at myself at all anymore. Because I'm embarrassed of what I've done to myself in my life. I'm 22 years old. I should be like in college, partying, having fun, living my life.
The food is always there, but the body tends to always give up in the long run. Seana is starting to understand this the hard way. She feels sad because her friends and mates are having so much fun in college, and she can't do that because she let food get the best of her life and body.
Did you eat?
No. Can you give me some burritos?
Okay.
And hash browns?
Okay. How many do you want?
4.
Okay.
4 burritos.
4 burritos and what?
6 hash browns.
Shauna to me is more like family than a friend, and I just want to see her happy. I try to help as much as I can.
Even her friend can't seem to get her to eat in controlled amounts. He says that anytime he gives her food in controlled potions, she is never satisfied with the food. He never wants to see her sad or unhappy, so he just gives her whatever she wants to eat. Very unhealthy decision, if you ask me.
Eating, I won't think about things that are sad.
How can I help?
Can I please have a large stuffed crust pepperoni pizza? The cinnamon bites thing, and that's all. Thank you. So I eat and try and forget about my life.
There is no way she just ordered a large size of pizza after just eating 6 burritos. Is she being for real? How does she expect to lose weight if she eats like the world is coming to an end? Jeez, she needs to be on a leash. A diet is not going to solve her problem.
He wasn't easy to get along with, and I should have walked away years before, but we stayed together for a while.
My mom never really knew how bad things were between me and my dad, so I just kept it to myself because I didn't want to make my dad angry. Instead, my father did things that hurt me.
In a way, that kind of explains why she turned to food as her comfort. Her childhood is a very rough one. Her dad was very abusive, and the only way she could console herself from all his yelling was to eat anything she could find. Does food really solve anything?
So my weight gain continued and got even worse when I was a teenager. By the time I was in high school, I was already around 400 pounds. I just non-stop ate. I didn't care. If I saw it and I wanted it, I ate it. But it was getting too hard for me to get around.
She dropped out of school? Damn. Seems like her childhood really did a number on her. Crazy thing is, she dropped out of school at the age of 16. What more could go wrong at this point? At least she had her mom for emotional support. Imagine if her mom was not around. Who knows what would have happened?
I just shut off and was in this downward spiral until my mom came and got me.
After about a month of me not being able to contact her consistently without him interfering, I finally went up there and I told her, I packed her up and I said, get everything you need down to Kansas City. I don't care what you do with him, dump him off in a ditch somewhere as far as I'm concerned.
She weighs over 600 pounds. One thing I know is that Dr. Now is going to be hard on her. If she really wants to cut down all this weight and come back to her dream body, she has to put in the work.
Oh, I miss you so much. Good?
Good. So what's new?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm fine. Tour was exhausting.
It was?
Yeah.
Well, could you cook me a meal?
I think Shauna's killing herself slowly by eating as much as she does every day.
Ha ha ha. With that look, there is no way Shauna is going to meet that goal. The moment Dr. Now said that she has to lose 80 pounds in 2 months without snacking, she felt like she was about to go through her worst nightmare. If she wants to get there, she has to put in the work.
So I'm trying the hardest I can, but it's just not easy. It's been 2 months since my Dr. Now appointment, and I was supposed to be back for another one sometime last week, but I was too scared to go, because I never found the papers with his diet and stuff. So I've been just trying to figure it out without them. Derrikus kept pushing me to call Dr. Now.
What? She can't find the papers with instructions on how to diet that Dr. Now gave her? She can't be serious. It's pretty obvious that she's being lazy with the whole thing. Pretty much explains why she is scared to talk to Dr. Now. He would be so disappointed in her.
Why should we get mad at you because you lost something?
I don't know. I just thought you'd get mad.
Well, if you didn't have the diet, then you didn't know what to do. So I'm guessing you wasted 2 months of time. You could have been making progress. Is that the case?
Oh, she had this coming. She finally decided to summon the courage to call Dr. Now, and he did not spare her one bit. But can you really blame him? She wasted 3 months and has still not been able to cut down any weight.
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And who is the partner with you?
My cousin Derikus.
Nice to meet you. All right, Shauna, it's 3 months later, and you haven't lost any weight. So what's going on?
I didn't read the booklet because I lost it again.
You telling me you lost it again?
Yes, yeah.
I'm as mad as Dr. Now is right now. She lost the papers again? What exactly does she want this time around? Let's not forget the fact that she still did not meet her target weight even after an extra month was given to her. If I were Dr. Now, I would give up on her for real.
You're in the world that doesn't exist. And you got like a cocoon around yourself, and you're not seeing the reality of what's going on. And you depend on everybody else to make those changes for you, okay? And none of that's going to happen until you decide to change it.
He isn't wrong, to be honest. It's her life, and no one is going to help her lose all this weight except herself. If she really wants to get it going, she better drop that lazy attitude and start to eat healthy.
I need to get my weight down to the goal I'm supposed to have. So I'm hoping that I finally lost some weight and did it this time.
Shauna?
At my last weigh-in, I was 658, and the goal I have now from Dr. Now is to lose 50 pounds. So my weight number needs to be down to 608 to be at my goal.
Surprising! Honestly, I am speechless. She was able to eventually lose some weight? I'm impressed. I mean, it's not the weight Dr. Now wanted her to lose, but she was able to cut down a little. Let's see what the doc has to say.
And that she's moved down here to Houston since she lost her support system back home. But her progress is still far away from where it should be. So she's still nowhere close to showing me that she's ready for any big step like weight loss surgery.
And there you have it. The doc is proud that she was able to cut down some of her weight, but sadly, she still did not make it to her goal. Looks like she still needs to put in work before he approves for surgery. Wow. He did recommend that she see a therapist. Let's see how that's going.
Pulled your parents apart?
My dad's abusiveness.
Okay.
And him and her just not getting along.
Do you know if he was abusive to you?
Oh, he was. Really mental abusive and physically sometimes.
So let's talk about the mental part. He made fun of you? He said mean
Because my
things?
weight.
This case is one that's going to make your jaws drop from your mouth. Trust me. Destinee is a transgender female who weighs over 600 pounds. Her life is a nightmare that she has to live through every single day. She feels like someday her body is going to make her completely useless. Well, here is how her weight loss journey begins.
I can only take maybe 5 steps and I'm out of breath.
So being as big as I am is making it impossible to have a normal life.
Imagine being so fat that you could get stuck in the bathtub while having your bath. That is insane. Sadly, that's the life Destinee lives. She even says that the most she can do is take 5 steps before she starts to run out of breath. I definitely do not want to be in her shoes.
To give me peace of mind, knowing I have help if something does happen.
Nuna, can you bring me a towel, please?
Put it on your bed, I'll bring it to you.
I need one on my bed and hand me one, please.
Even her sister knows that she can't leave Destinee to stay all by herself. At least Destinee has someone who's there to look out for her and assist her with basic things. It would have been hell if she was all by herself. I wonder how she got this fat.
Food is the only happiness I have in my life. It's my escape. All I care about is that I feel good. And my life doesn't seem that bad in that moment. All day and every day and never stop.
That way of life is going to get you killed, Destinee. You can't want to eat all day every day for the rest of your life. I mean, does she know she's hanging on by a thread? 1 or 2 more years of this lifestyle and things could turn out for the worst. Jeez.
Style caught up with her and social services got involved. And all 3 of us ended up in foster care by the time I was 4. And my mom was forced to give up custody of us. But she struck a deal that allowed her to still be a part of our life and stay in touch. but it was really hard on all of us.
That's rough, honestly. Growing up in that state must have been really tough on Destinee and her brothers. Her dad left her and her mom, and she and her brothers ended up in foster care. Most times you can't blame these guys when they rely on food as their coping mechanism. It gets really rough sometimes.
Couple months, but a couple years after I was put in foster care, my mama, she had to go to jail for a couple years.
Eventually, I started getting in trouble from shoplifting. I had to do time. I did 3 years.
So, during that time, everything felt so much lonelier.
That would most certainly break her heart. Imagine not being able to talk to your mom every day. As if that's not enough, she gets separated from her brothers, the only family she had left. Heartbreaking, if you ask me.
I could trust to be there for me was food. So I just kept eating and gaining even faster. And by the time I was 15, I had made it to being over 350 pounds. And being that size as a teenager didn't really help my social life. And to make it all even harder, I realized around this time,
it seems like opening up about being gay was not in her favor at all. The moment she did, everyone abandoned her and she felt more alone than she ever felt. One can only imagine the trauma that built up in her head because the people she thought cared about her did the exact opposite.
Me and Anthony had gotten close as brothers while I lived with my mom. And so we had moved out on our own together. So I needed to pay my fair share of the rent and got different jobs at a few places. But they wouldn't let me work under my new name or use the women's restroom. So I still
wasn't able to live the true person that I wanted to be.
Damn. It's like the trauma just doesn't end in Destinee's life. It's from one heartbreaking thing to the next. After going through all of this, she ends up losing her brother? Ouch. That's a straight bullet to her heart.
We're staying in Houston for the night and then coming back. But it's still gonna be a lot for me, so I'm really nervous. And a lot of things are going through my head. I'm nervous that if Dr. Now doesn't take me as a patient, I wouldn't have anybody to help me with my weight loss journey. So when I think about the doubt and him not taking me.
A very bold step, I must say. She knows deep down that if she keeps eating the way she does, she might not like her life in the next couple of months. Good one, Destinee. That doesn't erase the fact that she's scared that Dr. Now might not accept her for surgery.
But whatever happens and however much I just hope I get the help I need today. And the only thing that really has me scared is the possibility that Dr. Now could say he doesn't think he can treat me.
Destinee Lachey?
If that happens, it's gonna be like I'm being told I'm gonna die, and there's nothing I can do to change that.
She could not have said it any better. Yes, she's a little over 600 pounds, but that's still a very high number. I'm pretty sure Dr. Now is going to tell her the exact same thing. But the big question now is, can she really get rid of all of this weight?
That gave me the impression you're very interested in losing weight.
Well, I do, but I have a lot of, I've been through a lot, and I think I have a lot of emotional eating problems.
Such as what?
Well, I've been through a lot being transgender and gay.
You just have to love Dr. Now when he speaks facts. She might have been through so much, but eating to the level where she can't do anything by herself is just outrageous. She's lucky she can still get up from the bed if we're being fair.
Eating 400 calories per meal, high protein, no carb diet. Start on that immediately. And I want you to lose 80 pounds in the next 2 months, okay? And that's gonna be a goal that we're gonna work toward it, okay? And if you do that, and you want to do this program...
Let's hope she's able to get all of that into her head. She tells the doctor that her major challenge is that she runs to food anytime she feels sad, depressed, or even stressed about anything. Well, all that's going to end is she really wants to lose weight.
And adapt. But I have been working at it. And I do feel like I'm making progress. My clothes feel like they're fitting a little better, and I'm looking smaller. So I feel good about that, as long as I don't lose my breast, because my breast help me feel like a woman.
For someone who likes to eat a lot of junk, Destinee is surprisingly doing really well with her eating. Since her visit with Dr. Now, she's been eating more proteins and vegetables. Impressive. But is this going to be enough to cut down her weight?
And whether I get approved for weight loss surgery like I need.
Destinee?
At my last appointment 2 months ago, my weight was 668, and Dr. Now told me I needed to lose 80 pounds.
I guess we spoke a little too soon. She dropped some weight, but is still miles away from reaching her weight loss goal for surgery. One thing I know is that Dr. Now is not going to be happy when he sees that weight. And that's the doc standing on business. He's giving her one more chance to meet up with her weight loss goal so he can approve her for surgery. If she fails to meet it this time, trust me, she is on her own.
I urge you to put any effort into saving your life. So if you want to move forward, it's very simple. Show me the progress you need to make. Destinee, I'm going to give you one more chance to lose 80 pounds over the next 2 months, okay? You do that, I'll approve you for weight loss surgery. But if you don't, then I'll know you still don't have any interest in working at this.
I guess she's taking it a step at a time now. Sadly, she failed to meet her goal a second time, and Dr. Now referred her to see a therapist who would help her to feel like herself again. Seems to be working so far.
Whenever you're ready, you can go right on in and have a seat wherever you're most comfortable. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What was your life like growing up?
Oh, Lord. My mom, she gave me and my 2 brothers up because she was young and she,
Now that is mind-blowing. Who knew she could carry her body like that? Looks like her appointment with the therapist paid off pretty well. She feels good in her body. Let's hope she can meet her weight goal this time around.
We're just gonna do a little follow along, down, and this time we're gonna go up, and we're gonna go forward. So point your toes forward and roll on up, okay?
I'm feeling really good. I do feel like a confident and sexy woman right now.
Not her target, but it's pretty impressive. She did clutch down on her weight, if we're being honest. Coming down from 600 pounds down to this is not an easy goal. But is Dr. Now going to be impressed?
Because it's so important. I get weight loss surgery today. If I don't, I'm going to end up eating myself to death. And that can't be how it all ends for me. Me and Santana are at Dr. Now's to find out if I got to my goal and if I'm getting approved for weight loss surgery.
To be fair, he doesn't seem to be mad at all. She did make some pretty decent progress. He still wants her to lose some weight before her surgery, but he is confident that she's going to make the cut.
Not gonna do your surgery, we're gonna cancel it, okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
And then it's gonna be also very important you keep going to psychotherapy.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of emotional issues that are gonna be very important to continue working on to be successful in the long run.
James is so fat that his legs have literally begun to rot while he is alive. And despite trying to stay on Dr. Now's program, it was too little, too late for him, as he sadly passed away 3 years after his appearance on My 600-Pound Life. His astonishing living condition will tell you just how hard his life was. His story starts like this.
The second I open my eyes, I'm just in so much pain, but I'm still just grateful to be alive. And I tell the Lord, thank you, Lord, for another day, because I don't know how many I have left. But even though I still open my eyes each day.
Look at those legs. Phew. James has been bedbound for close to 3 years, and he feels like his leg is beginning to rot. The sight is so disgusting that the showrunners decide not to show us the extent of it. Look at that.
James cannot take care of himself at all. He cannot bathe himself. He cannot use the restroom. He has to wear a catheter. And it breaks my heart to see that James is trapped in a bed and can't do the things that he loves to do. Okay.
Don't let me down hard.
I'm not. I got you.
Wow. That is something. James is so fat that he cannot bathe himself, and his daughter and girlfriend can't either. So he does the only sensible thing. He invites his friends who are happy to do the heavy job for him. And that job is very disgusting. Look at that rot.
Eli is straining out of both legs so bad that I have fluid coming out all over.
Sorry.
And every time my legs strain, it's like I'm getting stung by a wasp or something. You hurt my leg? Oh, ow, my leg.
I got it.
No, somebody's got the fingernails in my leg.
Sorry.
That is incredible. The people helping him deserve a Nobel Prize or something. An interesting thing about the relationship between James and his girlfriend is that they started dating while she was married to her former husband. In fact, she gave birth to both of James's kids while she still lived with her husband, and that husband believed the kids were his. Can you believe that? Take a listen.
I wasn't raising either of them because Lisa was still married to her husband at the time. But I tried to stay in my kids' lives, even though they didn't know I was their father. And all this time, I was still steadily putting on weight. And I hit 540 right around when I turned 30.
Wow, what an extraordinary curveball in this already jaw-breaking story. And of course, it gets worse. Despite food being the only reason James is in this colossal mess, he still gets food delivered to his bed by his daughter or his girlfriend.
And I carry the food to him, but I don't know how to stop.
I got your cookies. You want one? Hold you over.
Yeah.
And if I take him something healthy, then we argue because that's his comfort zone.
I know my family's really worried about how much I eat.
Bailey feels guilty about giving her father so much food and fears that she is enabling him. but they are scared that he will get angry and start throwing things. However, he is literally bedbound. What would he do? Pursue them? At night, they feed him another huge feast.
I don't mind giving care to James, but it's hard on me. It's breaking me down mentally and physically, and don't know how much longer I can do it. But I feel like if I don't get James help soon, that he might not.
Maybe his girlfriend just loves eating too? Anyway, James eventually decides to get help, and he has to reach out to a TV station to raise money for the trip to Dr. Now. He is eventually able to get to the doctor, and here's what Dr. Now has to say to him.
Let me explain the situation to you. James is not going to survive much longer, and since I've been working with you two, he's not lost any weight and he's worse off now.
We're gonna just have to stick to the plan of making the change of going to the
There is no we, it's you.
Ain't that the truth? Dr. Now is so mad, and he has every right to be. Despite speaking to Jameis and his girlfriend multiple times over the phone, he has still not changed his lifestyle, and now he is worse. Now you would think this talking to would get James to change for the better, right?
Well, I can tell. For being here for a couple months, you should have a noticeable change in your body.
Well, I'm on a new mattress too, and it's making my back stick out further too.
If you followed the 800 calorie a day diet,
You cannot indeed, but that does not stop James from doing it. Dr. Now tries to put him back in the hospital to lose weight immediately, but even that effort is futile, and James simply does not lose enough weight and does not get approved for surgery.
840 pounds.
Oh my gosh. No way this is possible. Something is wrong. She's not reading it right or something. Are you sure that's accurate? I can't believe I've gained that much weight. I'm gonna have to tell Lisa that, I've gained weight, and I don't think she's gonna like that.
Sorry, I got lost getting here.
Well, the weight gain is probably no surprise to her anyway, as she is the one that keeps brining him all the food and treats he eats. In the end, Dr. Now's reaction is very predictable. Sadly, James never lost the weight and tragically dies at age 49.
Car trouble, we didn't have a way to get food, so we had to order food in.
doesn't matter what you say, okay? The scale is going to tell me what I need to know.
Right.
And what you tell me is not the reality. Everybody's eating them, because that doesn't make any sense.
Amber may soon die, and it is all the fault of her parents. At least, that is what Dr. Now said when he saw her. At 23 years old, she already weighs over 650 pounds. Dr. Now says that she might just have months to live, but Amber is determined to fight back. Her story begins like this.
I can't even move without help. I can feed myself and I can wipe myself, but anything else after that, my niece comes over a couple times a week and helps me in the bathroom.
Colleen is very limited on what she can do, so I come here to help her.
Really, who would not feel trapped and miserable in that body? She doesn't like being this person or this size, but it seems she cannot escape from it. She feels so hopeless that she thinks it might have been better if she was not born.
All he has ever known is a mother that weighed at least 500, and then 600, and then 700. I really do feel like I'm a burden.
I just do wish that she could walk longer and stand up longer so I wouldn't have to help her with everything.
It is certainly out of control. Amber says she eats a larger meal 5 or 6 times every day, and it might even be more. Of course, she is constantly snacking in between meals as well. You may wonder how Amber's issue with food started, and here is how she puts it.
The feelings that came with being hungry was helpless feeling, like there's nowhere you can get food. Like you could search every cupboard and they were all empty. Because of that, as an adult, I still want, when my parents got back together and food was plentiful again, that's the point where I started.
That is so dehumanizing, but it is the reality of extremely obese people all around the world. By the time Amber graduated, she was over 400 pounds. Due to her weight gain and depression, she dropped out of college, gained even more weight, and now we are here. Here is how she feels about her life.
Because she can't fit in the car that good, it's just easier for her to get in the chair and for me to just go in the car.
You have tamales today? Okay, good. 4 pork, please. I enjoy everything about food.
Can you imagine even spending a day in her life? Anyway, Amber has made the brave choice to get rid of the weight and change her life. To do that, she needs to visit Dr. Now in Houston, Texas. The journey is so difficult that she has to buy 2 plane seats to even fly on the plane. And here is what Dr. Now says immediately he sees her.
Okay. I feel nauseous.
You went up.
Okay, well, I don't need details. I just want to know if I can get down. I can't believe that I gained a couple of pounds. I've had a few things not good for your diet, but I certainly don't feel like I've overeaten.
Will Amber be proactive? Dr. Now says that Amber's situation is so bad because she is surrounded by people who enable her to be the worst version of herself. Can you imagine living with your parents and realizing that they are forcing you to be the worst person you can be? Dr. Now makes sure he tells Amber and her parents the reality of her situation.
It seems like you're not going to figure this out on your own. So I'm admitting you to the hospital right now and put you on monitored diet. She's not going to do anything different unless there is some sort of medical intervention. Something drastic has to be done. If she doesn't lose any weight in the hospital.
So does Amber take her last chance? Well, she at least tries to. Her family moves all the way to Houston, Texas, to be close to Dr. Now. They hope this will make her healthy and give her a better chance at life. But isn't it a bit ironic that her enablers are moving with her to where she wants to make a change? Interestingly, Amber made some progress.
Watch your back. Watch your back.
Okay, I can't. Did anyone tell my son I'm okay?
As soon as she gets stable, we're going to start to get her up and move around a little bit so she won't get blood clot.
And that is it. Amber got the bypass surgery, and things started accelerating for her. By the end of the episode, she had lost over 350 pounds. She says she is now at a point where she feels she can take care of herself, and now she can even drive herself.
To help you, there's not much I can do for you unless you start taking responsibility for your situation. So let's try to eat efficiently 3 times a day, high protein, and get on with your physical therapy and see if we can make some headway.